welcome back to the stream. And today we're actually doing something a bit different. So the plan today is chilling, right? While shiny hunting. This is like a really ballsy hunt at the moment. We don't have any alpha power or shiny power. We're just resetting as much as we can. Hoping for a shiny alpha Pansage it is. So yeah, the odds are really slim because it's only 1% for it to be an alpha, right? So maybe we're just wasting a lot of time. But yeah, you might notice that we changed the category to just chatting, right? Because we'll be playing, but it's more something on the side that we'll have, right? Actually, maybe we should do. So should I get rid of the border? Maybe, I don't know. Also, we can get rid of the counter. I think Lola is grumpy because Nika. Even though they are just chilling in bed, so no reason to be grumpy, I guess. So yeah, I was just checking on the dogs. Yeah, Nika just got up and stuff. So yeah, today's idea is more of a chat, kind of having a philosophy stuff going on, right? Thinking about how's the world headed and what is our role in all this chaos, right? I'll take a moment. Also, have to note the latest sketches that we did in our Excel. Yes, so basically lately, the world, it's falling apart, right? And I even had this crazy idea of founding a political party. Here in Spain, it's really easy. I don't know how it works in the USA. You have Democrats and Republicans, but can somebody just speed out a new political party and start from there? Because here in Spain, so we have the two big left and right parties, but there are lots of smaller ones, and in the end they kind of have these pacts, So usually the big parties don't have enough power on their own to have the majority to choose a president. So they kind of have to pact with the other parties, usually of the same wing, right? So left parties usually pact with left parties, the smaller ones, and they are okay, so your political program has these measures. So if I go to power, I'll do these measures that you promised your people, but I want your support and such. So yeah, basically the stuff is so bad. I mean, it's bad in America, it's bad in many countries actually. Probably it's a worldwide pandemic at this moment. And yeah, and here in Spain, it's really bad as well. So basically, my main concern is that we have people in power with basically little to no idea about how stuff works, right? And that actually causes stuff to not work. Surprise, right? So here in Spain, for example, I mean, I know Americans, you have your own problems there. Probably in your countries, you also have your own problems. You can share them in chat if you want, because I know about the big news in America and here in Spain, but other countries are more. It's harder to get to the information, right? But yeah, so here, for example, there's the train company, the main train company in Spain, which is supposedly public transport, but it's a private enterprise. So that's a big problem here in Spain, that many public services are privatized, right? Yeah, that's a problem, because then your main focus is not like the functioning of for Wingstop. Okay. So I guess Wingstop is like Wings kind of commerce, or like McDonald's but with chicken wings. Shh, Lola Pro. Lola is grumpy today. Chicken wings restaurant. It's actually funny because here we have like this. Well, actually, you have it in America as well. The game company GameStop, right? So it seems like they they changed their business, right? So from games to wings. Imagine it's like the same company just diversifying their business. Okay. So yeah, this is a really stupid hand because we don't have alpha power, so it's only 1% chances to get an alpha, but we can repeat infinitely, so we'll try. So yeah, Tony, by the way, how are you? I didn't answer. I was. Yeah, I mean, maybe a crossover or a business partnership, like you get a game or some merchandising and wings, which is actually cool, right? So game night, and you have your sites. I'm fine. Well, I'm not sure if you got what we were talking about before, but I had this crazy idea of I don't actually eat many fried things actually. Basically here in Rivas, in my small mountain town where I live, we don't have like fast food restaurants or anything like that. So everything is more like home cooked and stuff. And I'm not particularly fond of frying, so I love it. I love the taste and stuff. I just cannot be bothered to fry things. It's a lot of you waste a lot of oil. So apart from car oil, olive oil is really expensive lately, and I don't like also kind of all the house and clothes smell like fried and stuff. So I'm usually more of a grill or here we call it a la plancha. So I put a little bit of oil only so that the chicken don't stick to the pan, and like 3 minutes each side and such. Even if I do like typically fried food, I do it like that. So when you do this, I don't know the name in English, pollo rebozado. So you take your chicken and you bath it in egg, and then you put like breadcrumbs, right? And you fry it. So in Japanese it would be tonkatsu. It's funny. I know the name in Japanese, but not in English. So I typically do the same. I just do like a little bit of oil, and then heat it both sides, and it's not like super fried. It's also healthier, I guess. But yeah, I like the taste. I just don't did it. Like I cannot tell you when was the last time that I actually ate fried chicken. It's weird. So yeah, so I was sharing my latest crazy idea. It's crazy as fuck, and it's probably not going anywhere. But I had this idea to start a political party here in Spain, because I mean I'm not the only one who is fed up with politics and the system overall, right? So kind of a way to protest and try to change things from within. And yeah, that was the basic idea of this stream. Just this really long hunt and chatting and sharing ideas and I don't know. I mean, I'm just a man, so of course I have my ideas, but one thing that I think really differentiates me from other politicians and people is the open-mindedness, right? So a left politician or a right politician, they will have their program and their stuff, and they will go to death with that. And in that sense, I think that, so I'm a scientist at heart, right? So if you can give me your ideas and support them with data, so I can change my point of view, right? With the right support, or maybe politics usually are not black and gray like math. So math, something is right, something is wrong. There's no in between. But in politics, I think there can be like a consensus in which, okay, so I have my idea and you have your idea, and I have my data that supports my idea and you have yours, and we can agree that, okay, so it's different ways to solve the same problem, which is how politics should work, right? So two different candidates, it should not be about getting into power, but about solving a problem, right? And it really doesn't matter if it's your idea or my idea which actually works, as long as it works, right? And here in Spain, we have a lot of memes actually of a political party, I don't know, right or left, I don't care. They are in power and they say they have an idea and they defend it, and the other political party, so if it was right, the left, and vice versa, they were like super against it, right? So they are saying, oh no, this is nonsense, this is not going to work, etc. Then the next like political term, the other party is in power, and they say the same idea that the other one said, and the other one starts saying things against that, So like they both defended the same idea once they were in power, and they both argued that when they were not. And it's like, okay, shouldn't be like that, right? So if it's a good idea, it's a good idea. It doesn't matter who actually thought about that. And the stuff with politics is that it's not about helping the people or making the country a better place to be in. It's just like a popularity contest, right? So it doesn't matter if you are right or wrong. It seems to only matter that you are loud and popular, right? Freddy Krueger. Okay, so this is probably the most terrifying scenario to be in. So you're chased by Freddy Krueger, and then a random guy is rambling about politics. It's so more scary than that is that there's a monster in your closet. Yeah. Wow. So sorry if I'm making this even more terrifying than it should be. But yeah, so lately I've been dreaming and fantasizing basically about scenarios where I kind of, argued and said my stuff. And if this goes on and I actually create a political party and something, it's I don't think it's gonna succeed, right? Because of this, what I said, it's a popularity contest. It doesn't matter if you're right, right? So, um, I I don't think I have the charisma. I mean, maybe I do, but I don't have the ill will that politicians have. So you have to lie for that, and I would like to be as transparent as I could, right? So my 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 philosophy in this sense, right? Because I'm very interested in philosophy. I have tons of books here about philosophy, um, different cultures as well, right? So I have to I like to absorb as much knowledge as I can, um, as many as ideas, right? And so for me, philosophy and politics are kind of so well. There's branch of philosophy that are very connected to politics, right? For example, morals should be a really important part of politics and philosophy, right? So, for example, don't rape children. I'm not pointing fingers to any president of any country, but that should be something very important indeed. I mean, not only in politics, okay, don't get me wrong. So everyone should have like this mantra, but especially in politics, yeah. Because I actually also believe that politicians should kind of make an example of themselves, right? So apart from working for the people and stuff and trying to make things better, so you have to be the example, right? So I would like to think, for example, that if the super hypothetical scenario, I get to be president, one of my first things would be to lower politicians' salaries, right? Uh, and I'll probably get many enemies for that. um, but I think so. Here in Spain, I guess you have something similar in USA. So we have a kind of job position which is called funcionario, right? So state workers basically. They all have the same salary, right? So it can be someone who works in the tax office, like the IRS in America. It could be doctors from the state. It could be teachers. So from public schools, they are workers from the state, and so everyone, doctors, IRS, all of these people have the same salary, right, and kind of the same conditions on their contracts. So I think, and well, I believe that politicians should have this same treatment, right? So in the end, they are state workers. Like, I can't think of a bigger, definition of state worker than a politician, which is actually working 100% towards the state, right? So why should they have these huge salaries? Or there's another thing that really bothers me, which is the lifelong salary, which I think it's just insanely stupid, right? So if here in Spain, when somebody becomes president, they get their salary. Okay, yeah, they are working, they get their salary. So far, so good. But then after the 4 years, 8 years, whatever time they are in government, they are not president anymore. Okay, but they are still getting paid that same salary, and it's just stupid, right? So imagine you work in a company and you get fired, or you leave the job and you're getting still paid until you die. It makes no sense, right? So why do we have this spend, right? I could agree to something like, okay, let's give you 3 months, 6 months of salary until, so like, you're being good in the way of, okay, I give you some salary some time so that you can, until you can find a different job, right? But lifelong, it's just bullshit, definitely. Especially because these people, after being president, they usually get a high position jobs in big enterprises, where they basically do nothing and they just get paid. So basically, we have many examples of this. So there was this guy from the right party, Aznar. So he did a lot of politics in favor of gas companies and electricity companies and stuff. I'm not saying good or bad, okay? I'm not entering that, but he helped those companies, right? And after he finished his ruling, he was hired by one of these electricity or gas companies, I don't remember, in a high position, like 10,000 a month or so, like something insane. And it's like advisor role. So basically it's like, yeah, you helped us, so I'm gonna pay you this job. And apart from that, he has like this salary from being a ruler, right? So it makes no sense to me. So that's something that really has to change, and it's hard to believe that it's gonna change at the moment, because no politician would do that. So it would be shooting at their own foot, right? So that's why I believe like we need to bring people with actually like not selfish interests to change things. And it's really hard, right? Because you cannot rule alone, so you have to trust in more people in your party and your politics, like your team. And it's really hard to control who gets in, who gets out, and their ballots if people get corrupted with time, right? Because there's also this belief, which I would actually like to try it myself and see if that's true, right? I would love to. But there's this thing that power corrupts you. Like everyone starts trying to be nice, and then they fall into the trap and they become the same thing that they sought to destroy, right? Quoting Obi-Wan. I want to believe I wouldn't fall into that, but you never know. I mean, I have no power, so it's hard to tell. But it would be good to see that. I don't know. So yeah, I think I like deviated myself talking about stuff. So I was thinking, I was saying about philosophy and King Skywalker. Actually, very long ago, I kind of called myself Shevin Lord of Hatred. So yeah, that's not a good omen for a politician, right? To be the Lord of Hatred. Stretch, okay. Uh, yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm actually. I mean, if I would say, I could say I hate politicians actually, and it's interesting to say so when I'm saying that I want to try it, right? But it's because of that, right? I mean, I hate things. I don't hate like in a murderous way, even though it could save. Uh, it could solve many problems, right? The typical eat the rich. um, but yeah, so I do believe in peaceful change. I want to believe, like aliens. um, but yeah, no, I just said Lord of Hatred because it was a cool name, and actually the Lord of Hatred is Mephisto in Diablo. Uh, yeah. um, so the Lord of Hatred is Mephisto, and he was my favorite prime evil from Diablo 2. So Diablo 2 had a big impact in my younger years. So that's why I use that name. So it was my favorite prime evil, and it sounds cool for an internet game. Like, yeah, the Lord of Hatred. uh, but yeah, only that. Yeah. So this, for example, this what you said. Yeah, in the reach, for sure. Ice out, definitely. Aka, it shouldn't be like that. Like it is sometimes. I mean, I don't like using the word all or never, right? The typical never say never. As a mathematician, I don't like absolutes, right? Also quoting Obi-Wan, only a Sith deals an absolute, which is funny because the phrase itself is it's an absolute, right? But yeah, Star Wars aside, yeah. So not all, and definitely nobody should. So yeah, not all are, but there are, yeah, indeed, and there shouldn't, definitely. Um, most, yeah, it would be interesting to actually like do a survey, uh, not a survey, but a kind of an investigation and put a number to that, like, uh, the level of bastardiness. How do you measure bastardiness in someone? Is it like something you can measure, or is it like you are or you're not, or you're like 50% bastard, 70% bastard? How does that work? Like, could we go person by person and assess like a graph of bastards of or bastardity? Uh, yeah. So there's a scale, right? So it could be interesting to you know investigate it and experiment. I mean, social experiment with that. Um, so yeah, that's also like um, one of the things that should change in the current system, right? So obviously, the police is important and useful, and in some cases, right? It's something that's necessary, but I think it's necessary to reform uh, how it works. Oh, nice. Um, so yeah, my point is that there are many things that need to be reformed, right? There was this phrase that I really liked it. It said that the problem that we have in humanity at the moment is that we have prehistoric brains, right? We have medieval institutions, and we have godlike technology, right? And I believe that phrase it's I mean, not 100%, because again, we don't deal absolutes, but it's very, very accurate, right? So the institutions that we have, many of them, I mean, even medicine, we have advanced a lot, of course, but we have a lot of things that, still have no scientific basis, and we're just like snowballing with many stuff. Long ago, my first work, actually, I worked in a bank, right? I don't strike as a banker, right? But I did work in a bank in the central services, not in a front desk or anything, just like the central neural network of the bank, let's say. And there is where I first realized that nobody had no idea what they were doing. Like, they were just doing things, and it worked, So they had enough, power, money, or whatever, that no matter what they did, it would work. And it was just a snowball rolling, but like nobody knew why they were doing that, or if there was a better way to do that, and as a scientist and mathematician, that really struck me. And the same works for many, many things. So you probably didn't hear about that. But here in Spain, I think I was talking precisely about that before you came in. We have this train company, right? It's called Renfe, and so it's public transport, right? So they are getting paid by the government, but it's not free. So it's a private enterprise, which is considered public transport. So you already can see, you can smell corruption somewhere in between, right? I mean, it's probably one of the only public things that you actually have to pay, right? So you have public sanity, healthcare. There we can beat you, Americans. Sorry about that. We have public healthcare. The quality is really bad, but it's free at least. We have public education, and again, the quality isn't that good. But I mean, as far as I know, it's not that great in America either, and at least we don't have shootings. Sorry, sorry if I am too honest about that, right? But well, we have violence in schools as well. We just don't have such an easy access to guns. I guess if we had guns, we will have the same problem. So yeah, it's a public service which is actually managed by a private enterprise, and there we get into another problem that we have as a society, right? And it has to do with capitalism. I'm not saying banning capitalism or changing it or anything, right? But we do have to do some changes to it. So the problem, one of the main problems that we have with capitalism, right, is that we measure success in capitalism like measurements, right, indicators. So we measure success in the income, the sales per revenue, the revenue, the expenses, right? So we have a bunch of indicators of success, right? Which are all tied to capitalism. But there are some. I'm not sure if it's some or most. So most of the indicators that we should be taking into account is the quality of the service or the well-being of the people, right? So a hospital, it shouldn't be run as a business. So your metric shouldn't be how much money you are making, but how many people you're healing, or how fast you're healing those people, or how happy are your workers, right? So are your surgeons or doctors overworked? Are they suffering of burnout, or are they like they have a good amount of workload or not, right? So that brings me to this train company. So yeah, this train company. So they had these trains, they had their infrastructure. They increased the taxes, the fares of the trains every year, right? And the quality service has always been terrible, like 1 hour delays for no reason, right? And yeah, it was like the usual stuff. But lately, there have been like a lot of accidents. Like over the last month, we've had like 5 to 6 accidents that I know of. Some of them with mortal implications. So there were injuries and deaths involved, and that's when people started revolting. And what? So the problem here, what was it? It was that the company. So the metrics, the success metrics for Renfe was how many revenue they could make. Their success metric is not okay. Our trains are safe. Our trains are always in schedule. People are happy with our service, right? Those were not the metrics. The metric was purely money. So they got all the money and they didn't invest in infrastructure. They didn't invest into new trains, into making sure that the rails were safe, right? And yeah, and it's not been a problem until now, right? There's also been an issue lately. I read it and it's just the same as the Renfer problem, right? So there was this hospital, and the bosses of the hospital. So there are emails of the bosses of the hospitals telling the staff that they should be reusing catheters. I'm not sure if that's the word in English. Catheter, it's like kind of tube that you have to put through the urethra, right? Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe they. So I guess they sterilize it. I hope they sterilize it. I just don't know. So I don't have the details. Maybe it's like a reusable catheter, and it was just fake news, right? It can be the case. But it wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't the case, right? And it was just greed, because they also said how much money they saved on that, right? So again, you're putting your capitalist indicators, in this case revenue, before your objective, which is healing people. Or I mean, I do hope it was a reusable catheter, or that the sterilization process was good enough, right? I really hope so. And I really hope that nobody got an infection because of this misuse, in case it was misused. But yeah, if that was the case, it was horrible. And I mean, the same. You can see the same happening everywhere. Like anywhere you see, you look, and again, not absolutes, but uh, I, I I know there are exceptions, but it's a big problem that we have as a society, right? We measure our success with the wrong metrics, I think. So they are good metrics. So of course you have to get revenue for your services and maximize profits, but not at the cost of your service, right? If your service is healing people, you heal people, and then worry about profits, right? Um, I have many friends working in restoration, in restaurants and bars and stuff. It's also the same, right? They have the income that you make in the business, but they either fire people and they are understaffed. So in this case, yeah, the service, maybe the service isn't being punished in this case, but your staff is being punished, right? So maybe you're understaffed, but your staff is, really strong, and they manage to keep up with the service. But yeah, they are like stressed all the time. So maybe like hiring two more people would make it easier for everyone. The business would still get some benefit, some revenue, and the service would be even better, right? But yeah, that's not something that people consider with our current metrics, or it's really hard to find something in those lines, right? Same with the game industry. You see games that are rushed, games that are not polished, microtransactions. So basically, anywhere you see, I mean, even politicians, like especially politicians, they don't give a fuck about about their people, which is actually their job, right? We have one shiny only. Okay. And those should be like the ones whose metric would have to be like that, you know. I also believe that politicians should do it for no benefit at all, like no salary, no extras, because many of the staff of the politicians come from extras, right? Gifts or bribes, rather. In case I could change things, I wouldn't be so drastic as to not have an income, but this state worker salary, which is, I mean, it's what you're paying your doctors, your teachers, your people. So you should also be able to live on that, right? And I think it's fair because, in the end, you're doing your job, right? So it's okay to be paid. It's just, not an amazing like amount of money in that regard. I don't know what's happening here. Lola is crying. Lola, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa, Lola? Lola, Lola, ¿qué pasa? I don't know. Oh wait, I know. I think I know. well, I opened the balcony. I think that's what she wanted, to go to the balcony and sunbath a bit. Oh no, she's here. Maybe she's got stomachache again. I hope not. She was drinking water in the stream. In the stream. Well, yeah, in the street. So maybe she's not feeling well because of that. I hope not. I hope it's not the case. So yeah, basically, following a bit of philosophy on that line, right? And also, so one of the important things in life, right, in general, is that okay, it's so we're humans, right? It's okay not to know things, of course. Like it's impossible to know everything. But you cannot act without knowing things. You shouldn't be able to act without knowing things, right? So there's, I don't know, a big measure that the government wants to do, right? It shouldn't be like, yeah, my political party thinks this, my political party thinks that. We should definitely involve scientists and people who know about the subject into the talk, right? Not only the politicians. So if I want to, I don't know, tax the rich, to say something, right? I should do like numbers. I should hire a team of economists, mathematicians, sociologists. I don't know, like a mixed team with mixed knowledges, and they should like do a throughout study on the consequences, right, of each measure, and then we decide if it's a good measure or not, right? So every decision will have their cons and their pros, but we should be informed, and the people should be informed, right? So all of these measures and studies, they should be published for the people. I mean, most of them won't read it, probably. But the data should be available, or maybe even in the state television, shown a program with the data and stuff, right? Instead of these reality shows with infighting and stuff, really stupid stuff. I believe. Basically trying to educate people on the exercise of politics and how the world works. So that's a really big problem that we have at the moment, and it's probably worldwide, right? That people are not informed. Lola. So here, like, you go to any elections at least in Spain. I think it's a worldwide problem though. And people will go to vote. And if you stop there and ask everyone to cite, so you ask, okay, who do you want to vote, and what's their program, right? The political program of the guys that you are voting. And I'm pretty sure like over 50%, let's be generous, but over 50% won't know what to say. They would say something that they seen in TV, but not like the political program, right? And that's a really big issue, right? Because you have so basically over 50% of your votes is from people who don't know what they are voting for, right? They have a feeling, or they have a likeness about something, but they are not knowledgeable. And it's actually a really hard thing to control, right? Because you either restrict people from voting with some kind of test, right? But then like you're being not fair, because everyone should have the same right. But on the other hand, like uninformed people should decide for the rest. Like it's a really philosophical question, and it's a thing that's hard to control as well. So a video not long ago that they were saying that when you want to, drive a car, you have to pass a test, right? Because you can have consequences towards others. When you want your gun permit, you have to pass a test. When you want to be a state worker, a doctor, a teacher, a judge, right? So anything that has consequences toward others, you have to pass tests. So why not when voting, right? And it's a really controversial subject, saying that not everybody should be able to vote. But I think it's the case, and I don't think the solution is banning people from voting via exam or whatever, but to educate the people towards politics, right? At least to a certain degree. Because in the end, if you have uninformed people voting, it's not different than letting your dog choose who is gonna rule, right? So you put him 2 bowls of treats, and if he goes to the right rules, and if it goes to the left rules. It's just the same if people are uninformed. And it's hard or impossible to inform everyone or make everyone understand the importance and the implications of this, right? But yeah, it's something that has to be studied, and I might have ideas. Everyone might have ideas how to help or improve or do something about this. And that's actually how it should work, right? So we should have a brainstorm of people who know about the subject, like people who know more than me, probably, definitely, right? And listen to different points of view. But so there's this truth, right? So there's this truth. There's also the truth. It's not fair, sure, yeah. But I mean, it's not fair, but in the other sense, so your opinion, basically your opinion on a surgery. So imagine you go to a doctor, the doctor says you have to take a surgery, you don't really want it. So you go to several doctors and everyone agrees that you should have the surgery. But then there's this random guy. No, okay, so there are these 10 doctors that say you have to take that surgery. But then you have 20 guys who say, yeah, you don't need the surgery. But they are not surgeons, they are whatever. They don't have anything to do with medicine. In a democratic state, you wouldn't take the surgery, right? So it's really harsh and controversial to say that not everyone's opinions matter the same, but I believe sometimes it's the case. And it's related to the knowledge of those people toward the subject, right? So I do believe everyone has the right to have an opinion. That's for sure. Yeah, you have the right to have your opinion, to believe in God, to not believe in God, to whatever you think. You have the right to have that opinion, but not to decide for others on that opinion, So I am usually harsher than that. When somebody says their opinion, I'm harsher than that, not so politically correct. And I say, yeah, you have the right to be wrong, right? So, yeah, you have your opinion, but yeah, you're wrong. uh, it's a bit more, less friendly, probably. Um, okay, Lola's crying a lot. I'm worried she might have stomachache, so I might take a really quick break and go for a walk with her and see what's going on. Because she's crying a lot now, and that's not usually a good signal. So I should have like a be right back screen or something for moments like this, right? So like this and be right back. Let's see. Nothing yet. Um, well, just be right back. I think I had a screen. This? Nope. I think I had something at some point, but it was like just an image and with no message. But yeah, I'll leave it like this. Oops. Okay. The camera. Maybe I shouldn't have turned off the camera and just drop it. Yeah. Okay. So I'll stop it like this. Yeah, I'll probably be back in 15 to 30 minutes. I don't know. Maybe less if it's quick. So yeah, be right back. ¿Qué pasa, Lola? Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it was diarrhea. Um, yeah. So I always tell Lola she shouldn't drink from the street. She's got plenty of water at house at home, but yeah, she never listens or eat crap from the street. So I hope it was like a one thing stuff, and it's gonna last. It's not gonna last until night, because at night it's brutal when she has these stomach aches. So the problem with Lola is that she's too well behaved, right? And so she will not do anything at home, right? Yeah, hopefully, because she doesn't do the hair stuff at home, right? So basically, that means that whenever she has like this necessity to go and free her stomach, she will come to my room and start crying, like telling me, basically she's telling me, hey, I need to go, please. Please help me. And yeah, it's good because she's well behaved, but at night, and especially when it's really bad, I would rather have her shit at home and clean it in the morning, right? And be able to sleep. Because sometimes it's really bad, and it's like every 2 hours you have to wake up, dress, and go for a walk every 2 hours. So yeah, basically, well, yeah, you already have your sleep issues, so yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the sleep deprivation and its effects. So yeah, we have an alpha here. Oh wow, these guys are in range as well. Interesting. Okay, I think we're gonna reset this. And let's try to get something more interesting. Yeah, basically without alpha power, it's just too hard to find the shiny alphas. So what we're gonna do, I checked this area, it was horrible. Here we only need fluffies, so I don't think it's worth it. Oh, we have pansage here as well. So I think we'll go berry hunting there, because it's a level 4 area. Level 4 large area. And then we'll reset the wild zones and try to get something better. Okay, berry hunting. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, there you are. Okay, it's the map I hate. So we have to catch Pokemon undetected and get sparkling stuff. I do have a couple, yeah. Oops. Okay, they saw us. So no, not undetected here. I do have a couple for sure. Maybe I got a couple more on this time. I probably gave out many because I'm not checking all of the shinies that we get. So most definitely I gave out good stuff. Okay, let me catch this Snorrance undetected. Good. Okay, now we can continue. So yeah, I think I have a Noibat and a Beldum. Those are for sure extra small. And yeah, I'll check the rest in case there's something else. Oh yeah, I saw the art, but I forgot to read the descriptions and the tags and all of that. Have to do it. No Pokeball here. Oh no, yes, there. This is the Pokeball I hate the most to get. Okay. Me neither. This one I try to cheat it this way, but yeah, I'm like super bad at this walk. Okay, we got it. But yeah, this is the worst for me, for sure. Also, we should try to get 3 sparkling items. So that we spawn the golden one. Good. Let's see if we can see the golden one from here. Oh. Do we see it? Of course not. Yikes. Oh, fuck. Can we? Yes, nice. We don't have to climb. Well, one thing that you can do is save. Okay, well, now I see the golden ball, right? But you can save, and in case you don't see it, you like, you know, reset basically. Also, this Pokeball there is super annoying because you have to break this in order to target it. Okay, no, this is the start. Sometimes there's one here. Not today. I think there should be one in that corner. And we didn't check like the spaces behind the houses, which is what I hate most about this map. Yeah. So there are like little holes, and there's usually Pokeballs there as well. but it's horrible because you have to go up, then down, and up again. Yeah, like this one. I'm not even sure if we're getting the good berries. It wasn't a perfect donut. It was only like berries to sick. Oh, that sucks. That sucks so bad. So it's a berry power too, so we're not only getting berries, we're getting berries plus something else. So the big hole is there, but we're getting something apart from only berries. So let's see, where was that? There was a Pokeball around here, right? Yeah, there. Come on. Do we see anything? So this is another of the holes. There should be a ball there, yeah. And so this is why I have Psychic on Lucario, so we could get that ball without breaking the brambles. It's also a good feature. And I think that's all she wrote. There's this hole here, but I think we already checked that because there were like the Roselias. Yeah. Oh no, the Amauras. Okay. Well, it's something. So yeah, nothing else is interesting for us. So I guess we just reset. So yeah. So in America, for example, so you have these two big political parties, Democrats and Republicans, but there's no chance like you can do a different one, right? Like you have to deal with with what there is, and if you don't like any, just screw you, I guess. Oh, that really sucks. So here, like basically anybody can create a political party. And well, there is like two main political parties, basically kind of the equivalent to Democrats and Republicans, you know, right and left. But there are like a lot of smaller ones. I want to check something real quick. I just want to check if it's the Galarian Stunfisk or not, because we want the Galarian one. That's a shiny, right? A shiny alpha. Yeah, shiny alpha. Let's see if the Stunfisks are Galarian or not. Ooh, it's Galarian, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll stay here, but this is a really bad area. So we have to fly reset, and we want the Stunfisk right where the Golem were. So backup reset until we find them. And since we're flying here, I'm gonna heal so that every fly reset, every backup reset, we are already here and we don't have to fly. So yeah, so in the end, this crazy idea is just my way to fight kind of the injustice and how everything works, sadly. I don't know, it's just a crazy idea, but I feel it's the right thing to do, try to change things, because otherwise we are all like, it feels like being jellyfish, you know? That you cannot do anything, you just are moved by the waves. And the waves are mean, are really mean. Okay, I fear that the area might be hard-coded. So sometimes, even if you've reset many times, you get always the same results. And I fear that might be the case here. Because we are 3 for 3 of having Golets in that position. So maybe it's not possible. Even though I'm actually being stupid. So we have Sparkling 3 Alpha 2, so we have a guaranteed Alpha Shiny. So we should at least check if the guaranteed Shiny is the... Oh wait, this is a normal one. Oh fuck, we have normals and Galarians. Well, anyway, we should check if the shiny is actually a Stunfisk, and if it's actually a Galarian. So yeah, too many checks, maybe. Maybe I was doing some noise. I wanted to check what was it about. This is normal ones, yeah. But still, let's check for the shiny. It's this one. So I think I have this theory. It's a crazy theory, but I do think that what's going on? ¿Qué me just Nika? I hear like a munching sound, and she might be eating her teeth, right? So her teeth are falling, I actually got myself a second canine from her. But sometimes, like, yeah, she has like this crunchy sound. And I think that she might like be eating her tooth. I mean, it's something that dogs do, right? So this is normal Stanfisk. This is normals. And here it's Galarians. And one normal. Wow. Shoot. Those are like mixed. Okay. I mean, it's crazy, right? That there are like normal Stanfisks and then like mixed Stanfisks. Like these are all normal, and the other patches are like mixed. Yeah, but I don't think we can hunt this. I mean, we can manually hunt, I guess. Like spawn, so fly reset and run to the area, fly reset and fly to the area. So run to the area, sorry. But yeah, that sucks so bad, especially in a 4 level area. So I'm gonna do one more try. And if not, we're going to try something else. There's an area with Nickits and Thebolds, which we still need, so we might try to do that. Gollets. And yeah, the shiny is here. So my theory was that, and this is just a normal batch. My theory was that, how's it called? Yeah, the guaranteed shiny that you get is the closest shiny, like the closest mon that spawns to you, right? So that's why we were always getting the shiny in that same patch. Wow, 9 shelf, wow. That's incredible. So I guess here, right? Yeah, because we take the underground path. I'm not a fan because it's a level 1 area. So we'll stay here for a long time if we can hunt it. Because again, we might get a bad area again. But we have a 3/3, Dark 3, Alpha 3. So yeah, this will fill our boxes for sure. Okay, so it's not a really good area. We have Houndoms there, we have nothing here. That's strange. And Houndoms down. And what? Oh my god, Houndoms everywhere. Okay, so, well, we basically want one or more of these Houndom spawns to be Nickits. If we can get a couple, that would be ideal. But yeah, we'll take whatever we can take. Yeah, I hear that noise again. She's definitely eating her own tooth. Let me check real quick. Mija, ¿qué pasa? A ver, quítense la boca. No, I didn't see any tooth that's moving or anything. So maybe she just swallowed it or or something. Okay, sundials, houndoms, houndoms again, and houndoms. Come on, like this is the game just being mean. they know we want nakeds, and they just want to spawn nearby. Oh, also, Tony, I'll check the size of the mons. Yeah, I'll check it now. So I do have these guys. I know that. Actually, yeah. Oh well, no, you can see the size. Yeah. So this is extra small, extra small. These two guys. And let's see the normal shinies. What do we have? Check summary. I was skipping them just because they are rare, but to be honest, I don't think I'm ever doing the extra small decks and they are just taking space. So yeah, you can keep them if you want. Actually, well, one of these goes here. Okay, this is bad, yeah. Release. Who else? This is bad because of the Pokemon that we got for the side quest. Yeah, they came here. That's it, right? The rest is in place. I think so. Oh. Okay, so we checked these two boxes. This is alphas, and so yeah, we only have those two, it seems. Yeah, only those two. I mean, it's wild that with the amount of shinies that we get, we only managed to get 2 extra smalls. I mean, probably we gave away some without knowing, but still, compared to the 3,300 alphas that we actually have. Boy, sorry about that. Come on, nick it somewhere, please. Okay, nick it there. I can deal with that. What's there? Houndoms? I'm not sure if those are in range though. Oh, nick it. Oh, and it's a shiny alpha. Cool. Cool. So we only need one more. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to go. And oh my god, and Nickit's here as well. Oh my god, this is the Nickit place, the naked spawn, it's like this one. And wow, I think we can get like 10 to 20 shiny alphas like this. So we have a 3-3 donut, and we have 3 naked spawns. So yeah, I'll try to get as many as we can so that you can get a naked for the lottery. Or 2 or 3, I don't know. Yeah, I'll definitely get a lot of nakeds. Actually, give me... Yeah, we're in the right box. We don't have much space, to be fair. Well, do we have any news on Pokemon Home compatibility and stuff? Because yeah, I would be really interested in that. So yeah, so home compatibility will be huge for us because we can just store all the shinies there, or basically store the, how is it called, the alpha decks that we have, right? So we would get 10 free boxes for that. Yeah, I was listening to an audio, so I muted for a second. So yeah, no news. That sucks. That really sucks. I'm waiting so desperately for Pokemon Home. uh, I don't know. Wait, Lola is growling now. Oh, I see a shiny alpha now. Wow, that was super fast. I mean, this is gonna be crazy, the amount of shinies that we'll get. I think I'm only gonna catch shiny alphas. These guys didn't change, and oh my god. Okay, so we already have one for the giveaway. That's one for the giveaway, and oh wait, we're still spotted. So 3, and look how little calories we spent. Yay. That's gonna be a lot. So yeah, this will be a really long hunt because of the level of the donut and such, and low level of the area. So I guess I'll already cross out Nikita and Thibault, because I don't, oops, Control Z. I don't think we'll soft reset this. Already we have good results. So we're only missing 38 Pokemons for our living decks. And from those, only 17 are from the DLC. 17 from the DLC and 21 from the base game. So the base game, we don't really need to hunt them in hyperspace. We can hunt in Lumiose, but that's for a living decks. For a living form decks, it will be a bit more work, I guess. Nikita and Thibault. Yeah. And it's a shame because we lost some because of grid, because we could have a couple more done. We could have Overquill and Quillfish, but we lost them. But yeah, it's hard being greedy in this game. So the living dex is over 85% now. And for a form dex, we're missing like a bit less than 100 actually. So we're missing 87, 97, sorry. Which is still a lot for a living form dex. But most of those forms are for full. We have like 8 for full forms. 9 for full forms. Yes. Sounds like a like a trap for the tongue. For form. Well, so we need like Alolan and Galarian forms, which we don't have yet. Um, See, it's quite messed up that you cannot um, like have new political parties in America. Like, why? you know. So you have two. What if none of those represent you, right? Which I believe it's the case for a lot of people, right? So you are in a system where you have to choose between things that don't really represent you. Yeah, it's often the case. Um, I mean, even here we have tons of parties, and it's impossible to represent a person 100%, right? Um, or maybe you like some parts of one party and some parts of the other, right? So it's still a hard. So it's kind of impossible to you know have it all. But at least you have more choices, which is always great, I think, right? So for a long time, we had these two same political parties, like right and left. They are still like the main ones, and the funny thing is that historically, uh, like I mean, corruption aside and stuff, there was this thing called the cacicadas here in Spain, which basically these two political parties, which are enemies in theory, right? They are contrary one to each other, but they kind of agreed to falsify elections. And so they basically took turns, like, yeah, one time you rule, one next time I do rule, and they work like this for a long time. And yeah. And yeah, especially in smaller areas, they had this system going on, and yeah, people couldn't do anything because what are you gonna do? They are the law, basically. And what's crazy is that they are still around, right? They changed their name, but it's the same shit, right? So, oh shit, they discovered that we were doing this. Okay, so instead of being Alianza Popular, we'll be Partido Popular. Okay, sure. Sure. It's like this when they draw a mustache. No, it's not me. Just the same shit. PSOE as well. So that's when a lot of political parties, smaller ones, start arising as well, and well, they are not as popular as the big ones, and also there's this issue, and you also have this issue in America, that the elections, and it's actually a really cool mathematical issue. I did study that in class in mathematics. So the thing is that, so for example, in America, I think you vote on states, right? And so each state it's either blue or red in the end, right? Democrat or Republican. And then you assign people to the Congress for each state based on population, right? So a more populated state gets more seats in the Congress, and then so basically you get more Democrat or Republican congressmen like that, and then they choose the president, which, well, if the majority is Democrat, you get the Democrat president, and if not, the Republican one, right? Am I wrong about that? I think it worked like that. The thing with this kind of election system, which might sound really fair, right? So it might sound fair, but sometimes, and it has happened in history, you don't actually get what the majority wants, right? So it can be the case that America, like as a whole, more people want a Democrat president, but then with this system you get a Republican one, or vice versa. And the same happens in Spain. So we have the same like seats for every autonomous community, and it works like that. And this is actually a way to temper with the results, right? So, and mathematically, it's proved that given any distribution of votes, right, you can design an election system that that changes the outcome of the votes, right? So yeah, maybe it doesn't happen like this with states, but you say, okay, so now we say south and north, or east and west, or you change the regions, you change the logic, and you get a different outcome. And mathematically, it works like that. So now it raises the question, right? Is this system fair? Is it right? Even though the majority wanted something, but the majority didn't get what they wanted because this design of the system. We were also studying this. There's like this paradox, or I don't know how to say it. In Spanish, it's called trienio, right? And it's basically to make people think about this, right? About the it's not about rigging elections per se, but having a fair design, right, on how to count the votes. So this triennial or whatever, it was like a fictional scenario, right? So there was this guy in a town, right? And the guy, like way before there were laws and stuff, like it was like the city law, or the law of the mayor. So there was this guy in a town, and he murdered someone. Okay, bad guy. So the mayor gathered all the town in the town square, and they decided on that man's future. Okay. So he gave 3 options. They would either put him in jail for, I don't know, 10 years or forever, whatever you find fit for the crime. Another option was to exile the guy. Like, yeah, he's out of the town and he's on his own, and he cannot come back. And the third option was death. Okay, he killed someone, so we kill him. So people voted. So raise your hand who thinks that we should do this. Raise your hand who thinks we should do that. So basically, 25% people voted for exile. Okay, so 25% people think that they should exile the guy. 35% people voted for prison. Right, so he should stay in prison forever. And then 40% people voted for death. So basically, well, they killed the guy. But the point here is, sure, the majority wanted death, right? The 40% versus 35 versus 25. But if you consider the options, right? So there was a 60% people who didn't want the guy to die, right? So choosing jail or exile didn't imply the death of the guy. So again, the question was formulated in such a way which went through an outcome that the majority didn't want. Which, yeah, I mean, I know in reality it doesn't work like that. Because you need a minimum of X% to have a majority and stuff, right? So that minimum percent probably arised from these kind of things, right? Yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that each election system has its pros and its cons, basically, and it's kind of hard to figure out which is fair and which is not, even if it has like big implications, right, in the end results. Tony, did you mean to say something at some point? Just reading to what you're saying. Okay. Let's check. Those guys might not be in range, those houndoms. What about you? Oh my god, hello, beautifuls. So that's 2 shiny alphas for the lottery. So yeah, this politics thing is messed up and it's complicated as hell to make it work. But yeah, we definitely need a change of paradigm. We have to change things. Like, I know, for example, Trump is just a puppet, right? There's stuff behind and all of that, but you cannot put the the future of a country in the hands of an 80-year-old. Like, for sure, there's people more prepared than that. Like, it's just crazy to think. And I say Trump, but I would say the same as for Biden, right? So I'm not choosing sides. I just saying that those are not the people. So we shouldn't get to the point where those are the options, right? So why not try to get good options and then choose from good options, right? Why are we choosing between two 80-year-old people? So basically, the world is I mean, yeah, I'm not. I don't want to, how is it called? Like, hydrate. Hello, Viv. How are you doing? We have a really heavy stream today. We're talking politics. So yeah, so what I was trying to say is, oh right, you're right, the metal coating. You should change your name to the Beardy Stilix or the Beardy Scyther now. Now that you work with metal coatings, it really fits you. Or add Stilix and Scyther to your teams. ¿Qué pasa, bichas? I like that whenever I move to see them, they stop. Like, oops, that caught us. Putting rings on a pole. Okay, is that sex slang or what? It was legit what I was doing. Oh my. Tony starts speaking Polish suddenly. You know that Polish people are also called Poles. So, Cześć, przepraszam. You actually had a Polish friend beef, right? Is that what you were talking about? Your Polish friend, or or what? Putting rings on him? Oh, that's cool. Shh. Oh my god. Do you enjoy dipping the pole? I mean, you put yourself to it on your own. I need an adult. Okay, I think I have to go clean some shit. Enika, tell them what you did. Oh, I just did some shit at home. Yeah. Because I still don't know that I have to wait. Ay, marrana. Hola, què has fet aquí, tia? Mare de Déu, senyor. Que piste, tia. Nika the shit princess. Cockatiel, the lovebird Pokemon, okay. Okay, let's check if we have any shinies around. So these guys are not. The Houndoms, I don't think they are in range actually. We still have 3,000 calories. Insane. And these guys didn't spawn yet. Oh. So yeah, basically, Biff, we were kind of discussing the state of the world and the politics around. And well, basically, I had this crazy idea to start a new political party here in Spain. It's stupid because I don't think it's possible to change stuff, but I think it's worth trying at least, right? So I don't think it can succeed, but it's better to die trying than just accept the way it is, everything here. Well, we were also talking with Tony, sorry, that for example in the USA you cannot just create a new political party, which is crazy. So you have the Republicans and Democrats, and you have to deal with that. If you don't like any of those, fuck you, basically. Uh, and here in Spain, we do have like these two big right and left parties as well. But there are also smaller ones. And usually, I think it's good because to get the majority, they have to like pact between them, right? So basically, you get a bit of everything, right? So in order to pact, it's like, okay, you're gonna get my support, but you'll have to do this part of my program as well, right? Even though in the end it doesn't work because politicians, they promise things, they have their programs, their political programs, and they don't accomplish them, which I think it should also be like a metric. All I hear is less streaming. No, I don't think so. I'll try to find a balance. I'll stream my political speeches, right? Instead of doing all these huge meetings in arenas and stuff, I'll just stream it. Which, why not? Like, why all this theater, and why do I have to buy a stadium to do a political speech? It's money that could be invested in something better, right? Yeah, I mean, I know it's really hard, and I don't think it's gonna do anything. But for me, it's killing me that nobody's doing anything, right? So like everyone's just dealing with it. Like, yeah, okay, everything's a shit. We're not gonna bother change anything. So it's about doing something. So at least if I die, it's like, okay, I died trying, right? Didn't get anything, but I tried. Yeah. I don't know. It's more about my morals about the subject. So yeah, and any ideas are welcome on how to rule properly. Yeah, my main point of view for basically any issue that has to be tackled is to get support from the experts, right? So not in the interests or the point of view of a political party, but I'm a scientist at heart, so hire economists, mathematicians, physicists, like model the situation and get the data, the pros and the cons of each approach, and publish them and do a TV like show for the people, like trying them, so toning it down, toning the math down, but show the people the proof of your approach, and decide on that, not only on, yeah, I'm a left party, so we're gonna do this because it's what traditionally is done, right? So I think if any country invested more in education and science and used that to take decisions, like everything would be like way better than it is. Yeah, and also follow corruption, because I don't know there, but here we have a lot of corruption, and for me it's like, yeah, you steal money from the state, you go to jail like ASAP. Like I would like for it to be just unthinkable, right? Because right now it's horrible how much money it's being stolen, and it feels so unfair that yeah, and it's insane that poor person steals to feed their family or something, and they go to jail for some years, right? But then a politician or a businessman steals millions or hundreds of thousands dollars or euros, and nothing's done. Maybe a fine or and it's like, for me it's so basically the amount is higher, and it's worse because your job is to work for the people, not to steal from them, right? So that should that like definitely be punished, but like super severely. Like you have to make an example to the people, right? So if you don't want people to steal, you should be the first as a you know state worker. You should be the first to give example in that regard. Um, I would be like extremely a bit too extremist on that side probably, but it's something that it cannot be allowed. Any kind of corruption. Basically, any proof that someone so that a politician is working towards their interests or their friends' interests, and not on the nation. That should be like a really red flag and a sign of change, right? And sadly, it feels like it's the constant in nowadays governments. I don't know how bad it is in. You are in Denmark, right? How is there? Because we always here in Spain, we always hear that in the north things are like way better. Um, but I guess we don't hear the public complaints. So what's the situation there, politic wise? I know for sure in America is bad. And we 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 don't really need Tony's testimony on that. Uh, I think all the world knows about that, but I'm curious about other countries. You also have some corruption again. Also, another thing that I like, for example, uh, from Canada, not saying it's better or worse or anything, but one thing that I really like about them is that their ministries, they are specialists on their field, right? So the agriculture ministry, it's a past farmer, so he was a farmer, so he knows about what he's talking about. Health ministry, it's a doctor, etc. Right? Here in Spain, they are all politicians, so they are journalists, politicians, social studies, basically. So they don't know shit about stuff. Like, how do you have a politician being your health ministry? Like, I think she's a journalist. She studied journalism. So how, right? I mean, I know some people can do a great job, but it's not the case. It's horrible. In the corona, all mink owners shut down. Then the politicians deleted all the evidence. The mink, What is mink? I don't know what's mink. Okay. Well, here in Spain, with the COVID thing, oh, like another. Oh, interesting. So here in Spain with the COVID, so the masks were mandatory and stuff, and it's actually proof that many politicians bought tons of masks, and they were gatekeeping them, so that the price of the masks would raise, and then they sold them. Ah, Bison. Okay, so yeah, not another then. uh, so it's like a bison, right? In English, bison. Oh no. Okay, no, it's more like a rat. Yeah, no, bison is with B with the other B. um, okay, must tell it. Okay. Yeah, sorry for doubting. Sorry, my bad. See, I would make a good politician. I can accept when I'm wrong. Yeah. It's right. It's Bison with V, not with B. Like, so we have both. But Bison with B from Barcelona, which is like bison in English, and then there's the Biso with this. And it's mink in English. It's interesting. Yeah, it's mink. I didn't know that. So you always learn something new. So yeah, so here in Spain we had this. They bought like thousands or millions of masks, and they gatekeep it, the masks, to make profit. So that's also like horrible. I mean, it's like the worst, one of the worst things that a politician can do, right? You have a health emergency, and people is and you're trying to take advantage of people, and people are dying because of that, probably. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of masks or any of this stuff, but that's definitely not the thing that you should be doing as a politician. Especially because there are conflict of interests there, right? So you're gatekeeping masks and like playing with the price, right? So you're manipulating the market price, and you're forcing people to use them. So it's like, yeah, that's what there are mixed interests there. Yeah. Mika wants to join the stream. Wow, she's heavy now. Nika's gonna be my secretary. Hey, Nika? Yeah, yeah, she's. So last time I weighted her, it was 10 kilos. Now it's probably 20. So she's already taller and longer than Lola. Lola is wider, right? She's more adult, and so she's more she's wider and sturdier. Um, but Nika's already taller. I guess Lola might be wider forever. Because I don't know, she's like very thin by nature, so maybe she's gonna be like um, this more thinner breeds of dog. But she's already longer and taller, and soon she'll be heavier as well. Hmm? Anika? And in Denmark, so do you also have like two main political parties, or do you have like several different ones that you can choose from? Also, here in Spain, it's horrible because the I mean, not the problem is that the problem is not that they are the right wing, but it's like the fascist part of the right wing. It's getting a lot of power lately, and that's also horrible. So like, there's a lot of immigration, and they are kind of capitalizing on that. Which again, it's basically mass manipulation of the people and playing with their fears. Because you always get these same messages, right? So the immigrants are coming here and they are stealing our jobs and getting our money and stuff, right? It's all the same lies. Or they are committing crimes, etc. But yeah, sure, they are coming, they are getting jobs, of course. You need a job to live. They are getting help, of course, because they need help. They are committing crimes. I mean, some part of them as well might commit crimes, sure. But like they are shifting so much the focus of the real problem. Like they are focusing on this minority, right? So yeah, so they are taking jobs. So first of all, taking jobs is not a bad thing. So there are jobs, and they are usually taking the jobs that people here don't want to do, right? Lola, bro. And the the money on helps and stuff, or the, what they steal, right? They steal, right? It's nothing compared to what the same politicians are stealing, right? So it's always a diversion, and people actually eat those lies and that diversion, and they focus on an enemy which is not so sure. There are things to be fixed, right, or improved. But yeah, so why are you complaining about immigration that's managing, I don't know, 3 millions, when you have the government that's stealing thousands of millions? You should, so people should get all the information and get their priorities right. But they are not, and they are. So there's a lot of praise on the fascist wing here in Spain, and yeah, that's also one of the big issues that we have at the moment. And I think it's something that's happening like kind of worldwide. So Trump, as well, with this MAGA and ICE especially, it's a bit worrying on that line. Also in Poland, they are a bit like too much on the right part. Lola, you have the red and blue block and smaller names. Just a bigger set. Yeah, here, well, more or less the same. Yeah, there are lots of parties, but basically they are either left or right parties, right? Usually what happens is that there are two big ones, the main ones, but they are not enough to get the majority, so they have to pact with the little ones, and they so it's in part it's good because they pact and it's like, okay, so you're gonna get my support, but you have to accomplish these parts of my program, right? So I promised my people my program. You're gonna get my support if you do at least these two things, for example, right? So it's a good way to get a bit of everything for everyone. Even though, well, later they don't follow the program that they set, or they just do a couple of things, or they do it wrong, which also happens a lot. So yeah, again, corruption in some way, right? So if we compared this part of politics to like normal life, right? So I get a job, I get a contract, I have like a series of obligations, and I'm paid for that. And as a politician, you get your job, and you promised that you would do X things, and you got elected for that. So you should be doing that. Like, it's your job. If you don't do that, there should be some consequence, right? And even sometimes they get re-elected, even though they didn't follow. So for some reason, people who believed in these guys and their program, they've been lied to, and people are still supporting that. It's weird. Yeah, basically, yeah. But they still get re-elected. So imagine, you get a job, you are in this practice period where you can be fired because without any consequence, because you're like in trial, and you don't do shit. And then they say, oh yeah, we're gonna keep you around, good job. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with this guy, right? So what the fuck is wrong with the voters? So yeah, it's a big problem actually that politics have become kind of a popularity contest rather than what it should be, right? So we're not getting the right guy or the wisest guys around, but the more popular, or the ones who have more screen time, or more they are shouting the most. So it's actually something that I think it was Plato or Socrates, one of these Greek philosophers, like back in the day, they talked about this idea, right? That democracy at its extreme, it was a demagogy. I think it's demagogy in English. I'm not sure, but it's like all a theater, right? And it so it rewards lies, and like an act, than the actual facts. And that's because you let the masses choose, and the masses prefer beautiful lies than harsh truths, right? So yeah, you can lie about your program and promise wonders, wondrous things, right? Wondrous things, and then don't do it because you're already there in the power, right? And you can do whatever you want, and and you would even get reelected after that. Just you would just do a campaign, a big campaign, a big marketing campaign. Basically, it's just marketing, and you would get an excuse like, yeah, the enemy party didn't let me do that, or excuses, instead of taking accountability for your lack of you know well, I guess it's not lack of accountability, it's just you never ever intended that. So I guess sometimes it might be a lack of accountability, like, yeah, I did it wrong and I couldn't do that, sorry. But I think most of times it's like, yeah, I just lied to you and and deal with that. And I guess nobody will be honest about that. Okay, sure. So have fun. Oh, actually, oh, it's 1 p.m. already. Wow, time flew by. I thought it was 12, like it was midday. So I think I'll also have to take a break or something. I'll keep flight resetting until the evening off stream. But wow, the time flew. Wow. I didn't expect that. So let's check for Shalphas. And okay, no Shalphas yet. So yeah, I guess I'll end the stream here. I'll keep resetting and I'll let you know in the evening what went. So I guess I'm gonna do some research on how to do all this politician stuff and I'll keep you updated. So yeah, thank you for coming and listening. I hope that you enjoyed part of the conversation, and vote for Mark or vote for Shevin.